Alright, in this video we have a reloadable signaling device that sets off a primer when you pull out the firing pin. Keep watching and we'll go through the setup of this. Alright, I picked this up a couple years ago and I haven't really played with it, but it's a trip device or a signaling device. Essentially you can set a tripwire up to it and it'll fire off a primer. I picked this up from Pyro Creations. Here's what it's supposed to have inside. You've got the device itself with a detachable muzzle that unscrews that you place the primer in. It's got a threaded eye bolt that is used to hold it in place. I've got a slight modification on that I'm going to show you. You attach a string to the trigger pin, and which is the cotter pin here. And when you trip on it or pull the trigger pin out, it releases the spring-loaded firing pin that hits the primer head. So I'll open this up here. And notice here, I picked the green version. They come in green, silver, black, and brown. So here's the eye bolt for mounting it, and we'll show that here in a second. Comes with, in this case here, two trigger pins. And then it shows on here a safety pin. I don't have a safety pin, so I'm going to cut a piece of baling wire here. But you unscrew this, and you place the primer in there, and then it's got a muzzle brake here for the pressure to be relieved. And then to mount it, you screw this into a board, and then you thread the two pieces through that eye bolt, and that's how you mount this onto something. The firing pin, you can see there it's got a cone shaped point on it, and that's spring loaded. So the firing pin has a little shoulder on it that if you put a little side pressure on it, it will hold it in place. It catches. Then you can put the triggering pin through the firing pin. And essentially it's designed so that you tie a string on this and you pull this out, and the spring-loaded firing pin will hit the primer. Now, they also sell these devices on Amazon and other places, and they mount the same way. And so if you have it set like this into a board and you pull on it, you can see that it's putting a lot of moment right here. And you got a 2-inch lever there. And a number of people have claimed they have broken this off. Essentially the threads here have busted off. And I can see that as well. This might bind up. So I've got a solution for that. So I've got a board here. I've gone ahead and marked off 2 inches here down the center. And what I did is I went and bought a larger eye bolt that this fits through. So I'm going to install the larger eye bolt here. And then we're going to go ahead and install the eye bolt that came with it, 2 inches apart, here. I've pre-drilled these holes that make it a little bit easier, but still get a little leverage to screw this in. And you want to turn this down so that the holes are pretty close to concentric. A little off there, but it'll be good enough. So now what we'll do, we'll slide the upper body with the firing pin through the larger bolt, and then thread the lower portion. We're going to go ahead and straighten that up just a little bit. We'll thread the lower portion, the muzzle here, through the lower. Now you can see that it's supported by 2 bolts there, and you're not putting a moment on this lower muzzle here. And that should prevent it from breaking. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set this up. The primers it takes, tells you on the box here, are 209 shotgun primers. So I have a few here. And to set that up, to show you here real quick, you take the muzzle here and you place the primer in the muzzle, and then you thread that on. Now I've got the firing pin held back by the trigger pin. Then for additional safety, there's a safety pin you can pass through there. So I'll go ahead and use this piece of baling wire for right now. The package I have didn't come with the safety pin. There we go. That is all charged and armed. It's just got the safety pin in place. So we're going to go set this up and tie a string on it. Alright, we have it set up here. We've got the tripwire, in this case just a pull string, hooked up to the trigger pin that's holding back the firing pin. We've got a primer loaded. We've got the safety pin here, which for this case is just a piece of baling wire. So we'll go ahead and set this down. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the safety pin. And we'll give it a test pull. We're going to go ahead and reload this real quick. We got the firing pin pulled back, held by the trigger pin. I'm going to go ahead and put this through my holder here. Place the safety pin through. Put our primer in. We've got it charged. Set up our trigger pin with the string. I'm going to remove the safety pin. And we'll give it a go. There you go, pretty simple. Pull the trigger pin and the firing pin releases and sets off the primer. It was fairly easy to pull that out. Definitely could have occurred if somebody tripped over it. It certainly could be used for a variety of applications, if not just for fun.